When Splatoon 3 was first announced, I remember being pretty excited for it. I mean, I had played a fair amount of Splatoon 2, so I had high hopes that 3 would be even better. But that didn't end up being the case. Don't get me wrong, 3 is a good game overall, but there's just a lot of things that muddy up the experience, causing me to not really want to play the game at all. I don't have a great transition into the video, so let's just talk about Splatoon 3. I never really liked the Splatfests in 3, and it wasn't because the themes were bad. I actually really liked the themes. They were much more creative with them since there were 3 teams, but that's actually what I have an issue with, 3 teams. I always felt that 3 teams felt unbalanced, which may be in part due to a point I'll talk about later, but having 3 teams also just divides the player base enough to make it a frustrating experience. You see, in Splatoon 1 and 2, Splatfests were always 2 teams, so using easy numbers, teams could be divided 50-50. But with Splatoon 3, having 3 teams could be split 50, 25, and 25. So when the team with 50% of the players wins, it's not really a surprise. Splatoon 3's ranked mode is weirdly complicated. For context, 3 has 2 ranked modes, Open and Series. Open is where you play a match, and you gain a preset amount of points based on whether you win or lose. You gain 8 points if you win, and you lose 3 points if you lose. Series is where you play 3 to 5 matches, and at the end, you'll gain or lose points based on your performance. Now you might think that this is the only bad ranked system in the series, which you would be wrong about, unfortunately. Splatoon 2's ranked system wouldn't take away points for one loss, but if you lost too many games, it would just put you down an entire rank, regardless of how close you were to the next rank. Well, there were little checkpoints you could hit that would save you from going down an entire rank, but without those checkpoints, basically you were just going down an entire rank. Splatoon has historically tried to be too unique with its rank system, often ignoring the phrase, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." If it wants a good ranked system, all it has to do is give or take points after each game based on the player's performance. Splatoon 3 has honestly the worst matchmaking I have ever experienced in any game I've played, if I'm gonna be completely honest. It really feels like it's designed so you lose a majority of the time. Now, I know I'm not great at Splatoon, so to an extent it definitely is a skill issue on my part, but even on my better games, it still feels like the other team will body my team for the whole match, or the other team will just randomly start playing really well in the last 30 seconds. Now to be clear, I'm not someone who needs to win every time I play a video game, but when I feel like I'm constantly losing because the other team has gold name tags, badges, and thousands of hours of playtime, and my team is clearly just casual players, it becomes discouraging and pushes me away from wanting to play more. Despite my many issues with Splatoon 3, there are a lot of things I do enjoy about it and would definitely say are an improvement over the other 2 games. The biggest improvement, in my opinion at least, is that Salmon Run is open 24/7 instead of being playable only at certain times like it was in Splatoon 2. Another strong point is the game's story mode. I would 100% say this is probably the best story that the series has had to date, and while I'm not going to dive into the story mode in this video, I still wanted to bring it up just because I think it's a really strong story. Splatoon 3 is a game that I feel like is just very mixed. There's a lot of things that the game does right, but then there's also a lot of things that the game does wrong. It's a game that I wanted to like, but it's just really hard for me to really get into it. I even bought the game's DLC, Side Order, which I thought was fun overall, and I did think it would get me back into Splatoon 3, but I feel like Side Order just doesn't even meet its full potential, which is something I do want to talk about in the future. As a whole, I would say Splatoon 3 just feels like the Call of Duty of the series, where the new additions don't really stand out enough to warrant a new entry, and really, a lot of those new additions could have just been part of a major update for Splatoon 2, and I honestly think that would have been much better. Happy New Year, everyone. I had a pretty good 2025. I'm looking forward to 2026, actually. I mean, what are your guys' goals? Mine are just, get more animations out, just get more into art, because, I do really enjoy it, so, yeah. I don't know what else to say. I've been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's actually a lot of fun. It really makes me feel like I'm playing Mario Odyssey for the first time. Alright, bye.